strikes on the territory of Iran, targeting both military and civilian infrastructure. These actions are not only unprovoked and unjustifiable, they constitute a flagrant violation of international law, a violation of the Charter of the United Nations. As clearly articulated in Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the Charter, all members shall refrain in their international relations from the threat of or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state, or in any other manner and consistent with the purposes of the United Nations. The logic of unilateral force, of so-called preemptive strikes outside any legal boundary cannot be normalized and cannot be tolerated within this Council. Once again, these attacks prove that the only thing that preemptive action could prevent is peace. So, the justifications presented by Israeli officials are unacceptable. They are flawed, especially since they come from a UN member that continues to operate outside the framework of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, that is not fully under the IEA nuclear safeguards regime, and which has persistently refused to join the negotiation process related to the establishment of a zone free of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East. In its communique published this morning, the IEA recalls the numerous General Conference resolutions on the topic of military attacks against nuclear facilities, providing that any armed attacks, I quote, any armed attack or and the threat against nuclear facilities devoted to peaceful purposes constitutes a violation of the principle of the United Nations Charter, a violation of the international law, and the status of the adversary. Furthermore, the IAEA has consistently underlined that armed attacks on nuclear facilities could result on radioactive releases with grave consequences within and beyond the boundaries of the state which has been attacked. Colleagues, But as a judge,
Y'all, Ray J just lit a fire he clearly wasn't ready to put out. And Sexy Red, she pulled up with straight gasoline. This whole thing popped off after Ray J went online and boldly claimed he slept with Sexy Red. Yup, that's what he said, loud on camera, and it didn't take long for Sexy to crash out on him hard. And trust me, this ain't just some petty internet beef. The way she clapped back, it might just end Ray J's little trolling streak for good, but that's not even the wildest part. Because this whole situation might be tied to Diddy's
Charter, we call for restraint and de-escalation of the situation. The spillover effects are no longer hypothetical, and the consequences are already painful and clear, threatening to deepen existing crisis and endanger counter-allies in the Middle East. The President, at this critical juncture, my delegation calls for diplomacy, restraint, and meaningful dialogue to resolve the conflict. We urge both parties to refrain from further escalation and to prioritize peaceful engagement, wisdom, and stewardship. The international community must work collectively to de-escalate tensions and facilitate conditions for a global peace. The Security Council has a clear mandate to uphold international peace and security. We call on all members to act with unity and resolve to support an immediate cessation of hostilities and a return to dialogue and diplomacy. Lasting peace in the Middle East can only be achieved through addressing the root causes of instability in the region and with respect for international law. In conclusion, Madam President, Somalia reaffirms its solidarity with all those affected by this conflict and stands with the global community in urging a return to diplomacy and full adherence to international law and its covenants, including the principles of the Charter of the United Nations. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Somalia for his statement, and I give the floor now to the representative of Panama.
Thank you, Madam President. We would like to express our thanks to Undersecretary General and Rosemary DiCarlo and to Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Mr. Rafael Grossi. Presentation, and we underscore the irreplaceable role that is played by the International Atomic Energy Agency, the IAEA, in this collective effort. And we also reaffirm that the full respect for and the integrity and safety of IAEA personnel is an obligation under international law and an indispensable requirement to preserve the credibility of the multilateral verification system. Our position is based on the fundamental principles of our foreign policy, respect for and strengthening of the multilateral system, the non-proliferation regime, and the promotion of diplomatic dialogue as an essential tool to ease tensions and reduce strategic risks. We take note of the report of the IAEA Director General, reference number GOV/2025/24, recently circulated to the members of this Council, where it's indicated that the agency's verification and monitoring related to the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the JCPOA, have been severely affected by Iran's cessation of its compliance with nuclear commitments. Furthermore, we are closely following the principles of the IAEA Board of Governors, in which a resolution was adopted yesterday, the 12th of June in Vienna, a resolution stating that the Islamic Republic of Iran is in breach of its obligations under its safeguards agreement with the agency. Unfortunately, the information available to now with regard to the facts and motivations does not still allow us to know the practical scope of this non-compliance and the derived effects from this, and also does not allow us to distill conclusions from this information. Therefore, for the moment, in any event, neither the parties nor the United Nations should allow these events to drag the region into a broader conflict which would contravene the principles of the United Nations Charter and international law. We must act with the utmost urgency and responsibility to prevent this. Panama urgently calls for maximum restraint from all states, respect for international law and for the principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter, and for refraining from any action that could escalate tensions. We urgently appeal for the revitalization of diplomatic channels as a path to reduce tensions and mitigate risks that could have irreparable consequences for international security. We also would recall that international law requires the protection of civilian infrastructure with special emphasis on nuclear facilities intended for peaceful purposes. Civilian assets that must be protected from attacks and reprisals due to their very nature and because of the potential risks that they pose to the environment and civilian populations. There is no military shortcut to stability. Only genuine, inclusive and sustained dialogue can offer a lasting way out of the crises that bring us here today. Thank you very much.
I thank the representative of Panama for the statement, and I now give the floor to the representative of Sierra Leone.
Thank you, Madam President. I thank you for convening this emergency meeting of the Security Council. At the outset, Sierra Leone unequivocally deplores the unlawful use of force in contravention of the Charter of the United Nations. We deeply regret the seeming reversion to a period when a state can unilaterally resort to the use of force against another state in clear breach of the Charter and international law without consequence. For small states, this is deeply troubling. A deeply troubling trend which poses grave risk to international peace and security and must be firmly rejected. Turning to our agenda, I thank Undersecretary General Oswald Dicarlo and the Lieutenant General Rafa Grossi for their important briefing. We express grave alarm over the recent report of military strikes by the State of Israel against the territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran, including strikes on or near sensitive nuclear facilities, including the main Natanz nuclear facility. We are deeply troubled by the loss of life, as according to report, the strikes killed senior Iranian officials, nuclear scientists and civilians. This development represents a dangerous escalation at a time when the Middle East is already facing multiple and overlapping crises. The region, in our view, is at a precipice, and this moment calls for restraint, responsibility, and diplomacy. We note with deep concern the letter dated 13 June 2025 from the Permanent Representative of Iran, issued as document S/2025/379, which brings to the attention of the Council very serious report of violations of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iran. Any
Yo, what's up, Kamal?
regional security.
What's
Attacks
good,
on
bro?
nuclear installations could have catastrophic consequences.
Damn, I'm sorry I'm seeing that late. How you doing, bro?
Far beyond the age of this game. This is a time for diplomacy, not confrontation. We urge all parties to step back from the edge and to recommit to diplomatic channels as the only viable path towards durable peace and stability.
Hope you're having a pretty good day today, man.
Madam President, the Middle East has long been plagued by
Appreciate you for
cycles
stopping
of
by.
conflict and distrust. But history has also shown that bold diplomacy,
Hell yeah.
even in the most difficult moments, can yield hope. We therefore call for the immediate cessation of hostile actions and urge the revival of regional and international efforts aimed at de-escalation and mutual security assurances. In this regard, Sierra Leone reiterates its long-standing position that the only path to lasting peace in the region lies in good faith negotiation based on
Yep,
international
you are
law
the
and the
only
principles
person
of the
again
UN
today.
Charter. We reaffirm the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states in the region and underscore the need to avoid provocations and retaliatory measures that may trigger wider regional conflagration. We also express our support for the important work of the IEEA in monitoring nuclear programs and ensuring peaceful use of nuclear energy. The independence and impartiality of the agency must be respected by all member
What's going
states.
on, man? What you got going?
In this critical time, full cooperation of the IEEA
shit.
is essential to prevent further erosion of trust and to safeguard against nuclear proliferation. The international community cannot afford to allow further escalation. The cost
Man,
in human life,
I don't know.
environmental
To
degradation,
be honest,
economic
not really
disruption,
much of nothing.
and regional instability will be
I don't plan
impactful.
on doing anything, really.
This is a moment of truth for this council to assert its collective responsibility in upholding peace and security. Therefore, we call on global leaders and states with influence to emphasize the need for non-military approaches at this time and to promote dialogue, particularly through the IAEA as the international technical institution entrusted with overseeing the peaceful use of nuclear energy. We reaffirm the Security Council's responsibility to promote de-escalation and preserve international peace and security through peaceful and lawful means. We call on all members of the Council to work constructively towards a consensus response that reaffirms our shared commitment to the principles of the UN Charter, especially the peaceful resolution of disputes. In closing, Madam President, urges all
I want to see
concerned
if I can
parties
get
to take a step back, to de-escalate,
see if I can get 5 in
and to
where I
return
can.
to the table of dialogue. The world is
Yeah,
watching,
I'm not going right now.
and history will
Hell
judge
yeah.
choices to be made in this defining moment.
Hell yeah, bro.
Finally, on the
Need
border
to see if I can
questions of
get
peace in the Middle East,
fucking
Sierra Leone
Yulin
expresses
where I
its
can.
regret over the announcement of the postponement of the planned high-level conference on Palestine and the two-state solution as a result of the recent strikes. We hope that the conference will be reconvened at the earliest opportunity and as a crucial step towards advancing a just and lasting peace. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Sierra Leone for his statement, and I give the floor now to the representative of China.
President
time is it right now in USA? That is the incorrect time. It is 3:11. My computer, I keep my computer on the wrong time zone for other purposes. I believe the time zone that it's on right now is like the UK, so I think it's like 8:11 in the UK.
For some time now, conflicts
Yeah.
in the Middle East have dragged on, and the regional situation has remained highly tense. Gaza has been subjected to prolonged attacks and blockades,
Alright.
with over 2 million people trapped in an unprecedented humanitarian disaster. The international community should work together to promote a ceasefire in Gaza, de-escalate the regional situation, and effectively curb the spread of the conflict. Countries with significant influence over Israel should practically play a constructive role. The Security Council should make full use of all means conferred to it under the Charter to ensure the implementation of its relevant resolutions and play its due role in maintaining regional peace and security. I thank you.
I got no
I thank
Xbox
the
programs.
representative of China for the statement, and I give the floor now to the representative of Denmark.
Thank you,
Maybe
Madam
I should just
President.
create a whole new account.
And let me also thank Undersecretary General Ducalo and Director General Grossi for your briefings. Colleagues, we meet at a critical moment for regional and international peace and security. As we speak, the situation in the Middle East is once again at the top of our agenda. The risk of escalation and regional destabilization is deeply worrying and something that requires our greatest attention. It is now time for all actors to show utmost
It was like
restraint,
1:45 a.m.
prioritize safety and well-being of the
Nice.
people, to choose dialogue over confrontation. Madam President, Denmark's position is clear. Iran must never be allowed to acquire a nuclear weapon. For years, Iran has continued to undertake activities in blatant violation of the JCPOA. Its production and accumulation of highly enriched uranium had reached unprecedented levels. Its nuclear enrichment capability and its operations continue to expand. It is very disturbing that the
Should I come in
IAEA is unable
voice
to
chat?
provide assurances that
What do you mean? Are you on my Discord?
is exclusively peaceful because Iran is not fulfilling its legally binding safeguards obligations. These activities constitute a threat to international peace and security and a threat to the global non-proliferation regime. Yesterday's IAEA resolution clearly demonstrated this dangerous course of action. Still, we strongly believe that diplomacy must prevail. We have supported the talks between Iran and the United States on the status of Iran's nuclear program. We strongly urge Iran to engage in this dialogue in good faith. Madam President, in this current climate, we stress the importance of avoiding serious consequences in terms of nuclear accidents, which would be nothing short of
I mean, that
devastating.
depends.
This is not true only for Iran, but far beyond its borders. We urge all parties to abide by the obligations under the UN Charter and international law, including avoiding any steps that could lead to a potential radioactive release. Let me also use this occasion to express our full support for the IAEA and its verification and monitoring of Iran's nuclear program and its reporting. The involvement of the IAEA remains essential. Madam President, in closing, let me reiterate the urgency
Damn, what was I looking for?
of
Fuck.
de-escalation at this moment. For a region already grappling with too much crisis and conflict, a cycle of retaliation would only worsen the situation and risk plunging the Middle East further into conflict. This must be avoided. We call for a recommitment to diplomacy over support, for the courage to reduce tensions, to step back from this dangerous brink. Denmark stands ready to support any and all efforts to this end, to find a lasting solution to the Iranian nuclear issue through a negotiated political solution. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Denmark for the statement, and I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Madam President. I thank Undersecretary General Ducalo and Director General Grossi for
some stuff, so I can't really get in Discord right now, bro. Go in dark web? Why? The dark web. Like Tor. Why? I don't want to go on. There's not really nothing there that I care about.
In this context, we reaffirm Israel's right to protect itself and to assure security. At the same time, we strongly believe that lasting security can only be achieved through diplomacy and a negotiated deal. A diplomatic resolution of the crisis is now urgent for the sake of the region's stability and global security. It strengthens
I mean, except for
both bilaterally and through international organizations, all diplomatic
drugs,
efforts, and prioritize the return to talks on Iran nuclear program.
illegal goods, I guess.
Second, we reiterate the need to respect international law and international humanitarian law. It is essential to uphold the UN Charter as regards the use of force, as well as the integrity of the global non-proliferation regime. We recall
Alright,
the
what else?
obligation of UN member states to act in accordance with the UN Charter.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 5M to work right now with this Yulin menu.
To ensure that civilians do not find themselves in the crossfire, especially given the nuclear aspect of the evolving crisis. As the foreign minister has recently stated in this chamber, and I quote, that the protection of civilians is not optional. It is a legal obligation under international humanitarian law and a moral imperative we cannot afford to neglect. We call upon all parties to respect international humanitarian law in all circumstances, and we call upon all member states to use their influence to ensure all parties respect for it. Madam President,
Alright, I guess it's fucking launch 5M now.
that now more than ever,
Wherever that went.
diplomatic
Right
resolution is
there.
the only option. It is our only hope for peace and security in the region and beyond.
Iran, Rockstar, launcher.
Representative of
Oh,
Greece.
you know what? I just fucked up.
Floor now to the representative of Pakistan.
I think I just fucked up. I was supposed to inject the speaker first.
Also join colleagues in thanking Director General
Make sure the Rockstar launcher's closed fully.
and the Secretary General Chicago for their briefings. Madam President, Pakistan strongly condemns unjustified and illegitimate aggression by Israel against the Islamic Republic of Iran. Pakistan stands in resolute solidarity with the brotherly people of Iran. We offer our sympathy and
What is your favorite game you like?
loss of life.
I don't really have a favorite game. I play multiple.
The Israeli military strikes violate the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Iran and clearly contravene the UN Charter and fundamental
Load or not work.
principles of international law.
The
We
speaker, I mean.
unequivocally denounce
Let's
these
see.
blatant provocations, which constitute a grave danger and a serious threat to the peace, security, and stability of the entire region and beyond, with serious implications. Iran has the right to self-defense under Article 51 of the UN Charter. Madam President, these attacks follow a dangerous pattern of Israeli irresponsible conduct marked by ongoing military
One,
operations in
yes. Successfully unlinked to Rockstar. Would you like to remove server ban on that? Yes.
Lebanon, and Yemen, demonstrating a consistent and deliberate disregard for international law. Israel's
Now I'm
actions
gonna
reflect
launch up
the continuing pattern
again.
of unilateral militarism,
What's up? What's your
direct
question?
violation of Article 2(4) of the UN Charter, and represent acts of aggression as defined under General Assembly Resolution 3314 of 1974. Israel's serial breaches of sovereignty, normalize impunity, erode the authority of the United Nations, and gravely undermine the international order. Such blatant aggression and contempt for international law has already had devastating consequences. In Gaza, tens of thousands of civilians have been killed as a result of Israeli military onslaught, and a humanitarian catastrophe has unfolded under an illegal blockade that has in fact been there for over 15 years. In Syria, Yemen, and Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes have repeatedly targeted sovereign territory, undermining regional
What is
stability
the code?
and exacerbating
What do you mean?
tensions. The fact that these attacks against Iran have happened in the middle of negotiations
Are you talking about on the screen? The code on the screen?
Makes it all the more morally repugnant and against international norms. These actions threaten the robustness and sanctity of the negotiations process, so crucial for the peaceful settlement of these issues. Madam President, Pakistan reaffirms its support for the resolution of the Iranian nuclear issue through peaceful means, diplomatic engagement, and sustained dialogue. The JCPOA was an
That's for
outcome of painstaking and arduous
companies
yet
online
constructive negotiations. It
that
charted a
sell hemp
roadmap
and
to
legal
comprehensive
hemp and
redress the
THC
concerns of the
products.
parties involved by clearly defining the relevant obligations and responsibilities. The illegal use of force against Iran and the ensuing situation are likely to frustrate the ongoing diplomatic efforts and could destabilize a region that is already under very severe stress. The ongoing diplomatic context to reach a negotiated deal and other endeavors to promote regional peace and security must not be allowed to be upended. It is highly regrettable that these attacks have happened when the IAEA was continuing its verification activities in Iran. Such actions threaten the IAEA's technical work, which should be supported and not disrupted. Israel has violated international law, IAEA statute, and several IAEA resolutions by attacking the IAEA safeguarded facilities. In addition to serious violation of international law, these attacks risk setting a dangerous negative precedent and pose a grave threat to safety of populations in the region and around the globe. Pakistan, as an immediate neighbor of Iran, is therefore seriously concerned. Security Council Resolution 487 strongly affirmed such attacks as a clear violation of the UN
How this
Charter,
fucking works.
the norms of international conduct, and the serious threat
What do
to
I
the
do for a
entire
living?
IAEA
Not
safeguard
much
regime.
anymore.
We
I
call
used to
on
be an electrician.
all parties, Madam President, to fulfill their respective obligations and responsibilities and avoid escalation. Even in these testing times, diplomatic engagement and dialogue must be prioritized. Clearly, the international community is in favor of peace and stability in the region. In a few days, next week, the
Knew that
international
shit wouldn't
community,
work.
the UN membership, wants to come together to express its will to chart the path for the Palestinian state as part of the two-state solution that would usher in the long-awaited, just, and durable peace in the Middle East. Israel's reckless and irresponsible behavior cannot be allowed to jeopardize the efforts for peace, endanger the stability of the entire region, and risk wider escalation, thereby threatening global peace and security. The Security Council bears primary responsibility to maintain international peace and security and to stop this aggression immediately. It must hold the aggressor accountable for its actions. This council must deny Israel the free hand and the impunity with which it continues to operate in defiance of international law and international opinion. It is also our collective responsibility to reject any notions by anyone, anywhere, that seek to distort, misuse, and abuse the right of self-defense in violation of international law and the UN Charter. Finally, this council must collectively muster the courage to take positions and adopt
Alright,
decisions
bro.
that are in full
Hope you have a good
conformity
night,
with the
man.
Charter
Thank you
of
for
the
stopping
United
by.
Nations. In accordance with its responsibility, the Council should encourage, support, and prioritize dialogue
Peace.
and diplomacy to
Later.
advance peaceful resolution of conflicts. That is the only viable path forward, as many around the table have also echoed in their comments. Thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Pakistan for his statement, and I now give the floor to the representative of the United Kingdom. Thank you, President.
I gotta
I'd like to
figure
start
out
by thanking USG DeCarlo and Director
why
General
this shit
Grassi
isn't
for their
working, bro.
briefings. President, the Security Council meets today at a dangerous moment. We are deeply concerned by Israel's strikes on sites in Iran, as well as the Iranian military action we've already seen in response. There is a clear risk that this crisis escalates, with serious implications for peace and security across the region and beyond. This is in no one's interests. Colleagues, our first priority must be to prevent further escalation in the Middle East. We urge all parties to urgently step back, show restraint, and reduce tensions. The UK did not participate in this action.
You need to
And
do
let me
that.
say clearly
What?
and
I can't understand you,
unequivocally
bro.
that Russia's claim that British sovereign bases on the island of Cyprus were in any way involved is nonsense. It is deeply irresponsible at moments like this for Russia to be spreading disinformation. We firmly support any diplomatic efforts to return to stability. Today we have spoken to Israel at the highest levels, and our Foreign Secretary has also spoken to Iranian Foreign Minister Arakchi. We have urged both sides to show restraint and de-escalate tensions. We continue to engage partners across the region to ensure we are
Oh, you want a super chat,
doing
man?
our utmost to push for a peaceful outcome.
Nah, bro, if you want to donate,
The
man,
UK, in partnership with the E3, has always championed
you're gonna have to do that on
diplomatic
either
solution
PayPal or
to
Venmo.
address Iran's nuclear escalation, which has no credible
I need a sub
civilian
super chat, to be
justification
honest.
from this. As my Prime Minister said today, we have long held concerns about Iran's nuclear program, as documented by the IAEA. Israel also needs to protect its people and security. It is therefore in the interests of all actors to stop military confrontation and pursue a negotiated solution. President,
Yeah, I'll have to set that up, bro.
for a strong, united position
But
from
yeah,
members
I
of
should
this council.
be getting that set up.
We must take urgent action to de-escalate and provide an opportunity for a return to diplomacy. I thank you.
I thank the representative of the
Don't have
United
PayPal?
Kingdom for her statement.
You got
and I
Venmo,
give the floor
Cash
now
App?
to the representative of Slovenia.
Thank you, Madam President. Let me begin by thanking USG DiCarlo and Director General Grossi for their valuable contributions to today's discussion. Madam President, Slovenia is deeply concerned with the overnight and today's developments that threaten to destabilize an already very fragile state of affairs in the Middle East. We express our deepest concern with the Israeli strikes on Iran and Iran's response. We condemn any military escalation in the region. Madam President, Israeli attacks on nuclear installations in Iran come at a particularly volatile time. While talks between Iran and the United States on the status of Iran's nuclear program are on their way. As both my President and the Prime Minister have said, these negotiations have sparkled a glimmer of hope to reach a deal that would be of essential importance not only for the region, but for the whole international community. Slovenia remains concerned with the size and unclear nature of Iran's nuclear program. We have zero tolerance for proliferation of nuclear weapons. Moreover, our concerns are deeper by the fact that the
Yeah, that spoofer's not fucking working.
still cannot confirm the exclusively peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program. However, for us, strikes against civilian infrastructure, whether they happen in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, or anywhere else, are unacceptable. Time and time again, Slovenia has cautioned against military action on Iran's nuclear program. There is only one legitimate option, and Slovenia remains confident that there is only a political solution to the issue. With this in mind, Slovenia calls on Iran and the US to prioritize a peaceful solution and continue their talks in Muscat. Madam President, lasting and robust security is built upon diplomacy, not military action. I join the Secretary General's call on both sides to show maximum restraint. Watching footage from the ground, it is clear the time to de-escalate is now, immediately. A descent into deeper conflict must be avoided at all costs. The region and indeed the world cannot afford it. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Slovenia for her briefing, and I give the floor now to the representative of the United States.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Undersecretary General Rosemary DiCarlo and Director General Rafael Grossi for your briefing. Yesterday, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran's regime has, since its founding, repeatedly called for the state of Israel's eradication, launched unprovoked, direct, and proxy attacks on Israeli civilians, and spread terror, instability, and untold human suffering throughout the region. As we speak, Iran is firing missiles at civilian areas across Israel, including in Tel Aviv. As President Trump has repeatedly said, this dangerous regime cannot be allowed to have nuclear weapons. Israel advised us this action was necessary for its self-defense. Every sovereign nation has the right to defend itself, and Israel is no exception. The United States was informed of the strikes ahead of time, but was not militarily involved in these strikes.
I remember my first
Our
front that I
absolute
got from somebody.
foremost
I was so
priority
happy till
is
I
the
realized
protection
that shit. I was
of
like,
U.S.
this
citizens,
I was so happy to
personnel,
get this front from
and
dude.
forces
Like, because
in
it was
the
my
region.
first front that I ever had.
As Secretary
Before,
Rubio
I
said,
had to pay for everything like
Iran
up front.
should not
And
target
then I guess, you know, I had
U.S.
worked to that
interests
point where he just
or
dropped me
personnel.
like this. I still got the picture of my first front that I got.
Let
He
me
dropped me
be
this big
crystal
ass
clear.
bag of shape.
No government
And then he just threw a price
proxy
on that. And I just
or
remember,
independent
him
actor
throwing up. I ain't
should
even hear the
target
price.
American
I ain't even hear the
citizens,
price. You know what I'm saying? What up,
American
Zero? I see this
bases,
bitch.
or
I ain't
other
even hear the
American
price that he said on that
infrastructure
motherfucker
in the
because
region. The consequences for Iran would be dire. President Trump was elected with a sweeping mandate from the American people to advance peace and to avoid the grave mistakes of past administrations that led to forever wars. We seek a secure peace. As President Trump said, the violence should come to an end, and Iran should make a deal so that there is, quote, no more death, no more destruction, close quote. The United States will continue to seek a diplomatic resolution that ensures Iran will never acquire a nuclear weapon or pose a threat to stability in the Middle East. Iran's leadership would be wise to negotiate at this time. Thank you.
Thank the representative of the United States for his statement, and I give the floor to the representative of France.
Merci.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I want to thank the Undersecretary General for Political and Peacebuilding Affairs and the Director General of the International Agency for Atomic Energy. We thank them for their briefings describing the situation. Madam President, following the strikes last night by partners and in close coordination with the United States. Diplomacy must prevail now. We in France stand ready together with our partners to support efforts aimed at reducing tension, and we reaffirm, as was recalled by the President of the Republic, the right of Israel to protect itself and ensure its security. Madam President, France has many times expressed its concern regarding the escalation of the Iranian nuclear program. This escalation is a threat for the European security interests and for the peace and security internationally. Iran's nuclear weapon would threaten the stability of the region and would bring with it the risk of further escalation, proliferation. In April, under the presidency of Jean-Noël Barrot, France organized a Security Council meeting to highlight the shared interest of the international community to preserve the non-proliferation regime, which is a key element of our collective security. And this implies for Iran that it needs to uphold its commitments not to seek or acquire nuclear weapons, and they need to fulfill its obligations. France, together with its European E3 partners, has engaged constantly in looking for a diplomatic solution to the Iranian nuclear crisis and will continue doing the same. We've contributed to the negotiations of the 2015 agreement and towards its implementation and its preservation to date. Iran did not take up the numerous opportunities to return to the agreement. Iran continued the escalation of its nuclear program in violation of its obligations and commitments. The Iranian nuclear program has never been as advanced as it is today, and it lacks any credible civilian justification. The IAEA Director General is not in a position today where he would state that it's exclusively peaceful. And this week, on the basis of a comprehensive report, which is a technical and impartial assessment by the agency, the Board of Governors of the IAEA found that Iran is in violation of its safeguards obligations. In recent days, Iran announced the increase in its enrichment capacities and the creation of a new infrastructure for that. And it continues its ballistic missile activities, which destabilize the region and can reach not just the region, but also European territory. It transfers drones and missiles to Russia for its war of aggression against Ukraine. France, together with partners, supports a diplomatic, credible, and lasting solution so as to address the legitimate concerns of the international community regarding the Iranian nuclear program. The solution has to be arrived at before the expiration of the Security Council Resolution 2231 in October. We once again call upon Iran to return to upholding its obligations and to commit itself to negotiations so as to avoid escalation and continued destabilization of the region. Madam President, our priority is to prevent regional collaboration and to continue with a diplomatic solution. France stands ready to work with all of its partners to promote de-escalation in the region. I thank you.
I thank the representative of France for his statement. I shall now make a statement in my capacity as the representative of Guyana. I thank Under Secretary General Rosemary DiCarlo and Director General of the IAEA, Mr. Rafael Mariano Grossi, for their important briefings. Colleagues, Guyana is deeply concerned about the attack carried out by Israel against facilities in Iran. My delegation has noted the reports that the attack has resulted in the loss of lives, including civilians. It has also reportedly resulted in retaliatory drone strikes by Iran against Israel. Israel's latest attack on Iran contravenes the principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter. At a particularly volatile period in the region, the attack risks exacerbating existing tensions in the Middle East and escalating the ongoing crisis. Guyana is concerned about the recent military escalation in the region and calls for maximum restraint from member states. In a region that is becoming increasingly combustible with each passing day, we appeal for dialogue, diplomacy, and good sense to prevail, and for all parties to commit to no further military
What's up, MZ?
in the region.
Appreciate you for stopping by, brother. How are you doing today?
Its appeal to both Israel and Iran to exercise maximum restraint and to avoid any further maneuvers that could plunge the entire Middle East into
Doing
further
pretty good,
turmoil
man. Doing pretty
or
good.
worse, result in a nuclear catastrophe. The world simply cannot afford any miscalculations.
Just
The
vibing and chilling,
consequences for
man. Vibing and
civilians
chilling.
could be catastrophic. Guyana, therefore, urges both Israel and Iran to fully comply with their obligations under international law
I appreciate
and
you for
relevant
stopping by, brother.
resolutions adopted by this
Welcome to the
Council.
stream. If you're new, like,
We
comment,
further call on
subscribe.
the
You already
parties to
know.
uphold the principles of respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity,
You
to
got
adhere
Binance
fully
account.
to international law and the United
No.
Nations Charter, and to settle their differences peacefully. Guyana also
No, I
stresses
got
the
a crypto
accountability
wallet
for all violations of international law,
address.
and to avoid creating a culture of impunity for such actions. Finally, Guyana will act constructively
I don't have
to
a
support
Binance
any
account
Security
though.
Council measure
I thought I
that is
made
in
one
keeping
before,
with
but
its
maybe not.
mandate aimed at preserving international peace and security. The Council must take a united approach to these developments to confront
some
the
money.
prospects of outright
You and me
war
both, brother. You
in
and
the
me
region
both.
and the devastating consequences that would follow for the region and beyond. The maintenance of international peace and security requires us all to take decisive action, and now is the moment to redouble our collective efforts to prevent a wider conflagration. I thank you. I resume my function as President of the Council. I now give the floor to the representative of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
In the name of God, the compassionate and merciful, Madam President, we extend our sincere gratulation to Guyana as assuming the presidency of the Security Council this month, and we thank you for your coordination and for convening this urgent and important meeting. We appreciate Under Secretary General Mr. Corno and Director General Mr. Grossi for their contribution to this meeting. We also wish to express our appreciation to Algeria, Pakistan, China, and the Russian Federation for their support in convening this emergency session to address Israel's unlawful act of aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran, a grave violation of international law and the Charter of the United Nations. I address the Council today on behalf of the people and government of the Islamic Republic
Yeah,
of
man. If I
Iran.
was big enough, I would bless you, but I'm not big enough yet. I haven't even started giveaways on my channel yet, so yeah. Whenever I get to that point, man. Whenever I get to that point, I'm sure I'll be blessing people.
Political support from the United States regime conducted a series of coordinated and mediated military attacks across multiple sites, multiple cities in Iran. These acts of aggression are unlawful strikes target peaceful nuclear facilities, military sites, vital civilian infrastructure, and residential areas. Among the key targets was the Natanz nuclear facility, a safeguarded site under the full monitoring of.
Alright, I'm tired of listening to this shit. Obey the walrus. Yeah, I want to listen to that.
know we keep the best of clean, so you know smoke.
Surrender.
I feel the weight on my shoulders, I'm back on the bench, yeah, I'm back on the bender, staring out my window, counting the raindrops as they fall. The clock is laughing at me as I lose myself. I feel my brain rock, rock, rock. I can feel my brain rock, rock. I can feel my brain rock, rock. I can feel my brain. I can feel my rock. Baby, can you save me from myself? 'Cause I've been waiting for someone to come around and get me high. I know that you said this was forever, but I looked you in your eyes and I could tell it was a lie. Don't be looking at me crazy when I tell you that you made me go insane. You made me lose my mind. I don't need a conversation, baby. Nothing that you say to me gon' stop you from becoming my kryptonite. Yeah, rock, rock. I can feel my brain. Rock, rock. I can feel my brain. Rock, rock. I can feel my brain. I can feel my brain. Rock, rock, rock. I can feel my brain. Rock, rock. I can feel my brain. Rock, rock. I can feel my brain. I can feel my rock, 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 rock. up, bitch. I don't give a fuck with suicide boys, never gonna do shit. Still put the pistol in my mouth, with the back of my head out. Now I'm gonna head out.
Slit my fucking throat. Hey.
Put me in the shark tank, eat a gun, you can leave my bloody body in the motherfucking boat. Fuck everything and fuck myself. Fuck what you did, let me hang in my belt. Right, making with the pain, great, that into the game plan, getting my domain, playing in the same lane, I ain't never gonna change. See me dancing in the street when the motherfucking blood rains. Everybody else but dealt with, bitch. Your fame and your wealth and shit.
Drugs in my veins with 2 hoes on my lap. I ain't got a roller thing, I got these bitches for that. I got that smoke by the ounce, I got them pills by the bottle. And if I ever run out, this junkie right here, rob it. Trapping out the ocean just so I don't lose focus. I'm always sipping purple potion, keeping backwards in motion. Yeah, I
use and I sail.
Yeah, I'm straight out of hell. You drop my name in this hidden head, it's gonna ring bells. Chop it up quick like a brick, I ain't got time for the small talk.
Small talk, no.
I'm up quick and I dipsy, I don't wanna be bothered. Just know I hate you motherfuckers, and that's from the heart. Bunch of blowfish motherfuckers, and we all the sharks.
It's lonely at the top. All of my enemies have been defeated.
to my bank. Love the nights I make that stank. Y'all look good to celebrate. Night, insane, good life.
We got a problem.
Fuck you gon' do
with
I think that just up the song, and I'm the father. Pop his heads and make you mad. I know you want some. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Got a outside cold white snow flow. Rip up roll, shut it low, high smart, shut it. Slick, told the AK, 5 cents, all the glory jokes.
All of y'all love was saturated, bring that left. Bitches FDP, I'm fucking that. All y'all look the fucking same. Fuck the fame, fuck the lane. Bitch, I'm about to swerve it to the toe. Who's this great shine? Bring out your dad and my nigga. Yo, pull up. K9 by my right leg till I say you K9 on the side leg, ripping off your face. All I gotta say is G59 to the grave. One color, two numbers, 3 fingers in the sky amongst the thunder. I'm not fuck the others, I'ma bring the ruckus, I'ma fuck your bitch, she said she's up to none of the covers on. Don't know hell, Jody wanna die. Hellbound, Jody said she might let that bells bounce. Jody wanna climb, like fuck it every night. Keep turning back, I close my eyes.
Action on my bitches, taking my dose and never skip it. Still in my hood, a pistol, but it's still and I'm honey. Skip that skip up, in my club, still in a bitch, in the club, still on my dick, in a club, shit, still in the so fuck them, fuck with my leg, sheesh, I'm just fucking the Paris and back in the okay, never, okay, bitch, just stop dancing. Came up supporting my friend, just for that thing, she gave me a Grammy. Running it up in the sand, my phone, thinking about cocking my hand, but I still go to the game. None of this shit even matter, none of this shit made me happy. Running broke me as a step of a casket, like me up in the air, the roof head. Nigga straight into my face.
Get a motherfucking ground.
I'll see y'all in a second. Keys to the Lima caddy, push the stuff to 911. Drive these bitches crazy, yeah, they always trying to get me, trying to take me, tell me cause I suck a titties like a big man. You know you know, man, I'm out your